G'day guys and gal. If you are a member of the Imperial cult, or have more than 3 brain cells, you're probably aware that selling your soul to the forces of hell is a pretty bad idea. Eternal damnation, soul sodomy, and not getting a 15% loyalist discount off your rations are all examples of why pledging allegiance to one of the Chaos Gods is a bad idea. So why have so many people done it? Space Marines with genius IQs and a lot of awareness are throwing their hat in with hell on the daily. Half of the Primarchs even drank the Chaos Kool-Aid, and they are supposed to be pretty much as smart and self-aware as they get. Most of them didn't even need much convincing. So what if we're wrong? What if the positives of joining Chaos outweigh the negatives? What if the Emperor is actually—
You filthy heretic!
Disgusting. Puh. Puh. Before we put on our heresy-proof cock rings and dive into the topic, I want to share something I've been working on for a while now. The latest and greatest Majorkill mini, Kitten from TTS. Before anyone says anything, yes, I did get permission to create and sell this model from Alpha Buzzer himself. I actually wanted to partner with him and his team, or get like a license or something for the model so that he could make easy money. But he has moved on to future projects, so I'm grateful that he allowed me to use it regardless. It's no secret that I'm a huge TTS fan, and the final episode still gives me goosebumps. So much so that I'm actually recreating the entirety of SHIELD host Proteus, following their exact paint scheme and army composition, so it only felt right that Kitten himself be leading it. The design is a combination of his original armor as well as his Captain General armor, with a bit of Kitten themed flair thrown in to avoid my ass getting sued. It also comes with an optional Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel disc for when he needs to kick some serious ass in Paradox Billiards Vostrian Roulette 4th Dimensional Hypercube Chess Strip Poker, as well as a gift from his true love, Commander Shadowsun.
This is not fucking canon!
The model captures the entirety of Kitten as a character, not just how he looked at a given time, and I hope you guys like him. TTS might be dead, but it lives on through the fans. While you're there, consider picking up some of the other Majorkill minis. The feedback I've gotten on them has always been great, and with the prices being in Australian dollars, which is more or less Monopoly money, you're getting a bloody good deal. Today we'll go over the pros and cons of joining Chaos. After all points have been established, I'll give my thoughts on if it's actually worth it. I'll also talk about how certain groups of people may benefit more from it than others. Let's get into it. It's important to understand that when most people join Chaos, they aren't given a terms and conditions page that they have to tick accept to, or maybe they do. No one reads that shit anyways. The point is that Chaos is a slippery slope, and most people don't realize just how deep they've gone until it's too late. Siege of Vrax is a good example. The corrupt Cardinal started off the siege by believing that his interpretation and dedication to the God Emperor was greater than that of the Imperiums, and it ended with a fucking Grey Knight squad led by a legendary Inquisitor warrior fighting a bloodthirster, whilst the world around them was sundered by chaotic energy. If you had showed the Cardinal a video of that epic duel that would occur, I'm sure he would have stayed on his righteous path. Nevertheless, there are still pros to joining Chaos, the first of which is immortality. Chaos Space Marines or Chaos Cultists who actually do something productive for Chaos will find that they no longer age. Abaddon, Ahriman, Lucius, Typhus, Khan, all these Chaos Space Marines are very old, up to 10,000 years old in fact, yet they are more athletic and spry than they were in their prime. Sigismund, a legendary loyalist Astartes, had noticeably aged and slowed down by the time he was 1,000 years old, so it's clear that Chaos can easily prevent the aging process. For Chaos Cultists, this can also be the case. If you are serving a Chaos God well, then that God will want to keep you around to continue your exemplar service. For Space Marines who want to feel like total fucking chads forever, or for cultists that find the sound of eternal life without having to replace their cock and balls with a toaster appealing, it's clear to see why this would draw people in. That positive also ironically brings us to our first negative. The physical and mental toll worshipping Chaos has on you. The longer and deeper you worship Chaos, the more gifts you are given. You perhaps become stronger, hardier, smarter, or more attractive the longer you praise them. However, these gifts come with a catch, or are just straight up negative. For Nurglite followers, sure, you'll live forever, but you'll become bloated, stinky, and ugly. Eventually, you won't even be able to speak because what was once your mouth and vocal cords are now just rolls of decaying flesh and teeth. For Khorne, you'll get more and more bloodthirsty until you're in just a constant state of rage and psychosis. Titsnitch will generally leave you alone other than the odd tentacle or two, but out of all the Chaos Gods, he's the one that randomly turns his followers into Chaos Spawn the most. So there you go, and Slaanesh, whilst your body won't become too fucked up, your brain will. You will be constantly depressed and empty, only feeling anything at all when you commit the most depraved and heinous actions. The longer you are with Chaos, the worse all these gifts will get, until you pretty much cannot operate, and you eventually either kill yourself or wish you had. And that negative brings us to our next positive. To avoid turning into this decrepit, pitiful thing, virtually all Chaos followers have an end goal of ascending to become a Demon Prince. Demon Princes are mortals who have been chosen by their god and had a piece of that god infused within them. As such, they maintain their consciousness and a lot of their free will. They are free to pursue their own agendas as long as it somewhat aligns with the goals of their god. They are free from the normal negatives and issues that fuck with normal Chaos followers. For example, Fulgrim is in a constant state of pleasure. He never has a come down, unlike all the other Slaaneshi followers. The only time he did was when Rylannor nuked his ass. Magnus is free to explore his power, and he doesn't have to worry about randomly turning into a Chaos Spawn, and even Mortarion, who is quite smelly, hasn't become this bloated creature. He can articulate, speak, and maintain his figure. Ascending to a Demon Prince is pretty much the best thing that can happen to you in the setting of 40k. Sometimes even loyalists do it. Living Saints are just Demon Princes of the Emperor after all. The only real drawback here is that you lose a bit of free will, and only like 1 in a sextillion Chaos followers will end up as a Demon Prince. Which brings us to our next negative to joining Chaos. Wow, I've really managed to string this together well. For all the other Chaos followers who don't become Demon Princes, dying is really bad. Like, horrible. To join Chaos and receive its gifts, you have to trade in your soul. By trading in your soul, you're basically signing a pact which states that upon your death, demons have complete free reign to do whatever the fuck they want to you. So when a Chaos cultist dies, their soul is painfully torn to shreds and destroyed by the very demons and gods that they serve. Other more prominent servants of Chaos, such as Chaos Space Marines, will have their souls absorbed into their patron god, which is more or less the same as getting torn to shreds as they lose their consciousness. Even powerful psykers, who are known to be able to maintain their consciousness upon death, are doomed if they follow Chaos. This is why it's so important that Chaos gives its followers immortality. It basically tells them that sure, if you die then you're fucked, so like, how about don't die? And contrary to this, servants of the Emperor will either be granted some kind of afterlife by him if he can be fucked, or you'd simply just wash away in the warp. Both of these alternatives are significantly better than getting nommed on or merging with Nurgle. The next positive to joining Chaos is that it ironically grants people the most amount of freedom despite their souls now being owned by another. The setting of 40k is a very grim place. Many worlds are filled with poverty and despair. The lower classes of society are overworked and underpaid. There is a large sense of hopelessness, even for Space Marines who are tasked with being the defenders of humanity. They experience the worst the galaxy has to offer, and they must do it all time and time again without complaint. So if Chaos was to come to you and basically say, yo dude, that 16-hour job a day you got, kinda shit isn't it? What if you could just like, have fucking orgies all day? How about this? Kill your boss, fuck his wife, and then get aboard my CDR ship and I'll take you to a world full of orgies. Not the hardest sell there. For Space Marines, hey big man, instead of feeling the pressure of being the guardian of countless billion lives, what if you flew around and explored the galaxy, taking whatever you want from whoever you want because you're an Astartes? Why serve these weakling humans when you can live like a god? Chaos doesn't have a very high success rate with happy, satisfied people. It strikes when you're at your lowest, when selling your soul seems like a small price to pay for a better life. For many in the Imperium, joining Chaos makes sense. Either get worked to death in a slum or have orgies. I know which one I'd go for. Now for another positive, which is probably the most obvious one. Joining Chaos does increase your overall power. Joining Khorne will make you stronger, braver, and a better warrior. Joining Slaanesh will make you faster, more charismatic, and wealthier. Joining Titsnitch will make you smarter and improve any psycho powers you may have, and joining Nurgle will make you significantly harder to kill. Whilst I won't say there isn't a catch to this power, there definitely is, which I detailed above, but in terms of just a raw power boost, Chaos will give it to you. Think about every time a Chaos Traitor Primarch and a Loyalist Primarch fought. Nearly every time the Traitor won. Fulgrim beat and killed Ferris. Mortarion beat the Khan during the Siege of Terra. Magnus was poning Gilliman until the Sisters of Silence intervened. Mortarion killed Gilliman. Fulgrim killed Gilliman. There are very few examples of a Loyalist beating a Traitor Primarch after they've been infused with the power of Chaos. Hell, even Abaddon beat Sigismund after getting boosted. We have quite a good selection of pros and cons, so is joining Chaos a good idea? Is it worth it? I would say it depends. If you are a low-life, overworked pleb on a shitty hive world and you'll be dead before you turn 40, then yeah, fuck it, go for it. Especially if it's a Titsnichian or Slaneshi cult, as those seem to last the longest without having to become a fat stinky piece of shit. However, if you're enjoying your life, have your shit together and praise the Big E, then remaining loyalist is probably the way to go. There are just too many catches and risks with pledging to Chaos for someone with a semi-decent life to go for. For Space Marines, joining Chaos or remaining loyalist is really just case by case. Chaos Marines maintain their sanity and physical bodies much better than Chaos cultists do, so if you want to go rape and pillage, then sure, join Chaos. If you want to have clean, nicely coloured armour, then stay loyalist. Also need to consider which Chaos God you want to pledge to, as they all have their own pros and cons. If you simply want to just exist in eternal bliss, then Nurgle is the way to go. However, if you want to fight, then Khorne could be your guy. At the end of the day, it's just down to preference. After all, if there was a clear answer, then everyone would either join Chaos or nobody would join at all. If you enjoyed the video and you want to support the channel, then Patreon is the place to be. Only $1 per month give you access to a bunch of stuff that could probably convince you to join Chaos. Hit the subscribe button, then hit the real subscribe button for more chaotic content. Join the Discord for more memes, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.